4 formats, 4 contestants, each hoping to win the Quiz Omnium. This contest is Sabotage. So welcome competitors to the Quiz Omnium. Our competitors are Gavaghan, Ian Fennell, Joey Goldman, and Michael McPartland. Over the next 4 matches, you'll be tested in different ways. Points are up for grabs in each of the matches that will contribute to the overall Quiz Omnium leaderboard. And at the end of the contest, one person will be crowned the Quiz Omnium champion. The formats we have for this Quiz Omnium are called Elimination, Cryptic, and Speed, but first you're taking on Sabotage. Sabotage is played in the MIMIR format with one major difference. The subjects for the questions have been chosen by the competitors. And the subjects for today are: Anne has selected US presidents, the Eurovision Song Contest, and American sitcoms. Ian has picked James Bond films, post-apartheid South African politics, and avant-garde classical music from 1950 to 1990. Joey has picked 20th century US visual art, 20th century German language literature, and the 2020 Indian Premier League cricket season. And Michael has picked the Nuremberg War Trials, films of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and no one will be surprised that he has picked WWE. In each subject, the 4 questions vary in difficulty from the easy to the hard, but one thing is constant. If you chose a subject, you will get the hardest question. But how much do your competitors know about your pet subjects? Will they answer them correctly, or will you be able to pick up bonus points? It's time to find out, and we start round 1. Joey, you begin the contest. In the first post-apartheid government, Nelson Mandela was president, and the 2 deputy presidents were F.W. de Klerk and which future president?
Zuma?
Incorrect. Ian?
Thabo Mbeki.
That's correct. Your second question, Joey. Of the 22 high-ranking Nazis who were tried at Nuremberg for war crimes, 3 were acquitted, 7 were sentenced to periods of imprisonment, and 12 were sentenced to death. One of the 12 was Hitler's personal secretary, who was sentenced in absentia. What was his name?
Gorlitz?
Incorrect. Anne?
Pass.
Michael?
Borman.
Is correct. In the film Octopussy, in order to reach an island undetected, James Bond disguises himself as what reptile?
Crocodile?
Correct. Ian, these are your questions. Gregor Samsa is the central character in which novel by Franz Kafka?
Der Schloss.
Incorrect. Anne?
Metamorphosis?
Is correct. Ian, your second question, which future president opened a haberdashery shop in Kansas City in 1919 after he returned from service as an army captain in World War I?
Herbert Hoover.
Incorrect. Joey?
Pass.
Anne?
Harry S. Truman.
That's correct. And your third question, Ian. The 4-letter graffiti tag SAMO, S-A-M-O, which was seen on the streets of Manhattan in the late 1970s, is associated with which artist?
Banksy.
Incorrect. Joey?
Basquiat.
It is Jean-Michel Basquiat, yes. And we move to your questions. Under what ring name is Terry Bollea better known to wrestling fans? Arguably the most popular and recognizable wrestler of all time, who isn't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he has had an acting career that's included an appearance in Rocky III as Thunderlips.
Hulk Hogan.
It is correct. Spiegel im Spiegel is a 1978 composition in the tintinnabula style by which Estonian composer?
Tume?
Incorrect. Michael?
Part.
It is Arvo Part. And your third question. In which 1987 film does Arnold Schwarzenegger's character tell game show host Killian, "I'll be back"? To which Killian replies, "Only in a rerun."
Total Recall?
Incorrect. Joey?
Pass.
Ian?
Running Man.
Is correct. Michael, the BBC hosted the 1963 Eurovision Song Contest in London when, following Isabella Aubrey's win, the broadcaster RTF refused to host again, having hosted in 59 and 61. Which country was RTF the national broadcaster for?
Luxembourg.
Incorrect. Joey.
Pass.
Ian.
France.
That is correct.
Seemed too obvious.
Your second question, Michael. There were 3 instances of a team winning by 10 wickets in the 2020 IPL. Chennai Super Kings and Mumbai Indians were 2 such teams. Winning against the Mumbai Indians were which team from Hyderabad?
Sunrisers.
That's correct. And your final question. For playing the title role in which sitcom did Robert Guillaume win an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series in 1985?
Pass.
Yeah, Joey?
Pass.
Anne?
Benson.
Benson is correct. And at the end of the round, we have Joey on 2 points, Ian and Michael on 3, and Anne is in the lead on 4. Bonus attempts, Joey's had 1, Michael's had 2, Ian and Anne have had 3 apiece. I Am Going to the Lordy, written by Charles Guiteau, was recited by Guiteau on the gallows prior to his hanging on the 30th of June 1882. He was hanged for assassinating which president?
Garfield.
Correct. Which actor played Mike Flaherty, the deputy mayor of New York in Spin City? He departed to show after 4 seasons due to ill health.
Pass.
Michael?
Michael J. Fox.
Correct. And your third question, who was the author of the 1932 novel Radetzky March that chronicled the decline and fall of the Austro-Hungarian Empire through the eyes of the Trotter family?
Joseph Roth.
Correct. Ian, your first question. Mervyn Griffiths-Jones was assistant to the British chief prosecutor at the Nuremberg war trials. He would later become famous as the chief prosecutor in the 1960 obscenity trial relating to which book?
Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Correct. Schwarzenegger was billed as Arnold Strong in his first film, in which he played a mythical character in modern-day New York. Who was the character?
Hercules.
That's correct. And what is the name of the left-wing political party that is led by the former ANC Youth League president Julius Malema? At the 2019 general election, it secured 11% of the vote and 44 seats in the National Assembly.
That's the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF.
That is correct. And the 2020 Indian Premier League matches were held at 3 stadia. The Dubai International Cricket Stadium, the Zayed Cricket Stadium, and the cricket stadium in which emirate, the 3rd largest in the UAE?
Cotter.
Incorrect. Joey?
Sharjah.
Is correct. Which 1942 painting by Edward Hopper portrays 4 people in a late-night diner with a large glass window?
Nighthawks.
That is correct. And the BBC hosted the 1972 Eurovision Song Contest in Edinburgh when Monaco was unable to provide a venue. Monaco had won the previous year with Un banc, un arbre, une rue, which had been performed by which woman?
Bleh.
Incorrect. Joey?
Kim.
Incorrect. Michael?
Pass.
Ian?
Ray Mathieu.
Incorrect. The answer is Severine. Okay, Michael, your questions to finish off round 2. The avant-garde musical style associated with Arnold Schoenberg and known as serialism treated all notes as having equal importance. It used a scale or row of how many notes?
7.
Incorrect. Joey?
12.
Is correct. Who sings the theme song on the newest and as yet unreleased Bond film No Time to Die?
Billie Eilish.
Correct. In a 2012 anger management skit, the wrestler Kane told some of his backstory and concluded by saying, "For reasons never quite explained, I have an unhealthy obsession with torturing which baseball star. That star appeared at 3 WrestleMania pay-per-view events in 98, 99 and 2000, each time being assaulted by Kane."
Pete Rose.
That is correct. At the end of the round, Anne has 5 points, Joey, Ian and Michael all have 6. Anne and Michael have had 3 bonus attempts and Joey and Ian have had 4. In which comedy adventure film based on a novel by Jules Verne did Arnold Schwarzenegger play the part of Prince Happy?
Around the World in 80 Days.
Is correct. Which small landlocked country is joint third on the all-time list of Eurovision winning countries? The BBC stepped in to host the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest in Brighton when this country claimed it couldn't afford to stage the contest, having won twice in a row.
Luxembourg.
Correct. And with 36s in total, who won the Un-Academy Let's Crack It Sixes of the Season competition for the most sixes?
Ishan Kishan.
Is correct, and you've aced your set of 3 there, and we move on to Ian. Where Everybody Knows Your Name, performed by Gary Portnoy, was the theme song for which US sitcom?
Cheers.
Correct. In WWE, what is the name of Brock Lesnar's finishing move? The name could also refer to the Fujita scale measurement of a tornado that causes incredible damage, or a computer key that can be used to refresh a web page.
F5.
Is correct. And examples of which early form of electronic music with a French name include the 1950 Symphony for One Man Only by Pierre Schaeffer and Pierre Henry, and Poème électronique by Edgar Varese.
Musique concrète.
Indeed, and you also ace your set. And on to Anne. Released in 1973, which film that co-starred Jane Seymour and Yaphet Kotto was the first Bond film to star Roger Moore?
Live and Let Die?
Is correct. In 2015, a protest movement emerged at the University of Cape Town in which students demanded the removal of a statue of a noted British colonialist. By what 3-word name that referenced the colonialist in question were these protests known?
The End Roads movement?
Incorrect. Michael?
Pass.
Joey?
Roads Must Fall.
Indeed. And finally, Anne. James Blaine used the presidential campaign slogan, "Ma, Ma, where's my pa? Gone to the White House, ha, ha, ha," in reference to his Democratic opponent's illegitimate child, who was the opponent who won the election to become the 22nd president.
Grover Cleveland.
Is correct. Michael, your first question. The sculptures Balloon Dog Orange and Rabbit, which both sold at auction for more than $50 million, are works by which American artist?
Coons.
Correct. Which of Thomas Mann's novels is set in a tuberculosis asylum?
Death in Venice.
Incorrect. Anne?
Pass.
Ian?
The Magic Mountain.
Is correct. And your final question in this round, Michael. Nuremberg was chosen for the trials due to its largely undamaged Palace of Justice and the symbolism of its associations with Nazism. Which other German city, the most highly populated in the state of Saxony, was also considered as the venue for the trials?
Leipzig.
Is correct. And at the end of round 3, Anne is on 7, Michael is on 8, and Joey and Ian are tied on 10 points. Bonus attempts. Anne and Michael have had 3, and Joey and Ian have both had 5. And Joey, you kick us off. 12 of which household item were used in John Cage's Imaginary Landscape No. 4 to create a musical piece that was different every time?
Wind chimes?
Incorrect. Anne?
Pass.
Michael?
Pass.
Ian?
Pass.
It's radios. There were 12 radios to 12 different stations. And your second question, Joey. In WWE, what was the name of the faction made up of Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins? The faction shares its name with an American police drama of the 2000s that starred Michael Chiklis.
Shield?
Is correct. And your final question. The Ballad of Sexual Dependency, that documents New York's gay subculture and drug scene, is the best known work by which photographer?
Nan Goldin.
Is correct. Ian, your questions. A match between the Mumbai Indians and Kings 11 Punjab required 2 super overs to find a winner. Which West Indian player hit a 6 off the first ball of the second super over for Punjab to put them on the path to victory?
Absolutely no idea. Pass.
Pass that to Anne.
Pass.
Michael
Chris Girl.
is correct. And your second question, Ian. The BBC hosted the 1960 Eurovision Song Contest after the 1958 host and 59 winners, the Netherlands, were unable to host due to the expense. The UK was chosen after coming second with the song Sing Little Birdie, performed by which husband and wife act?
Fanny and Johnny Craddock.
Incorrect. Anne
Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnston.
is correct. And your final question, Ian. Born in Canada, who directed the James Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies?
Lee Tamahori.
Incorrect. Anne,
Pass.
Michael,
Pass.
Joey.
Corey Fukunaga?
Incorrect. It was Roger Spottiswoode.
Oh, I confuse No Time to Die with
Mm.
Never Live in That Hole.
And your question. The Nuremberg war trials categorized crimes into three types. They were war crimes, crimes against peace, and which third category of crimes?
Crimes Against Humanity?
Is correct. Which Max Frisch novel, published in 1957, takes its Latin name from a concept that alludes to the view that humans are in control of their own destiny? Now, it's a pass, Michael.
Pass.
Ian,
Ecce Homo.
incorrect. Joey
Homo Faber?
is correct. And your third question, Anne, which sitcom followed Abby and Ilana, two Jewish American women in their 20s, on their adventures in New York City? The show ran for 5 seasons from 2014.
Broad City.
Is correct. And that was a broad smile. Michael, your final three questions. Jimmy Carter was quoted as saying, "I've looked on a lot of women with lust. I've committed adultery in my heart many times," in a November 1976 issue of which men's magazine?
Playboy.
Correct. Which body that was established in 1995 and produced its final report in 2003 issued 849 amnesties for crimes committed in the apartheid era?
Truth Commission.
Prompt you on that.
Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
That is correct. And your final question, and the final question of the quiz. Abigail Breslin played Schwarzenegger's daughter and the title character of which 2015 post-apocalyptic movie?
Alice.
Incorrect. Anne,
Pass.
Ian,
Pass.
and Joey?
Lucy?
Incorrect. It is Maggie. So at the end of the quiz, Ian and Anne are tied on 10 points. Michael has 11, but the winner is Joey with 13 points. Congratulations, Joey.
Yeah.
So as a result of that quiz, we had two people in joint third. So you both get 3 points for the Quiz Omnium leaderboard. That's Ian and Anne. In second place was Michael. You get 6 points for the Quiz Omnium leaderboard. And Joey, you take an early lead with a full 10 points for having come first in this quiz. Next up will be elimination. How much did you learn about your rivals today, and can you use it to your advantage? Join us next time and find out.